Good day and welcome to HVAC 342. My name is Joe Pacella, Associate Professor here at Ferris State. The purpose of this lecture is to give you an idea how the course is laid out. You may not find this with every class that you're starting off with, but I like to kind of give you an idea where things are going to be at in the course. First of all, working with FerrisConnect here, anytime you see this orange bar, I guess that's orange coming across here, there's a thing called student preview mode. If I don't leave that on, I see a lot more items in the class than you do. You may see me switch this off later on in this lecture just to show you some other items that you'll be going through with the course. But this is specifically what you should be able to start seeing in the class from day one. Now when I look at this, scroll down just a little bit here. There's a welcome window or a welcome section here that will go away after the first week. If you click on this to start the class, this is pretty much what you'll see, and these are all different items that you have to do or that's available for you for each one. So this is week number one. In this week number one, I want you to listen to the 3 lectures we're using. This is lecture 3 right now using FerrisConnect. There's a syllabus in here, so if I wanted to look at the syllabus for the class, I could click on that. And then I would have to click on this here, and you would see the syllabus in its entirety open up that you could scroll through with that. All right, student policies here, course textbook information. This is one area if you wanted to get some ASHRAE books, if you wanted to purchase them, you could come in here, and what I'd recommend that you do is to go ahead and fill out a student application. I believe the membership fee is $35, and you'll get a very large discount if you wanted to purchase ASHRAE books themselves. Again, a lot of them will be available through the Flight Center or Ferris's electronic library. There's also a student zone, which is on ASHRAE's website. And if I go into the student zone here, you can find some different information and some different items that are in here in the student zone. Typically, our on-campus students do the design competition every year, which is an international design competition. We have not done better than second place for the last 5 or 6 years. It gets a little frustrating for us, but I think there's reasons that happened. But this just gives you an idea of some information as far as textbooks and joining ASHRAE as a student if you wanted to. And there's also a video here. And what this video here will go through is talks about how to use FerrisConnect and access the library information. So in addition to that, there's a quiz 1. There is assignment number 1, which is a personal biography. There's downloading the HAP software. This is real important that you get this done. First of all, I'm going to click on the first one here. This gives you an idea, and this is the information that we receive from Carrier. It gives us mostly our customer number and access code to just download the software. Go through this. The first thing you have to do is download the XBuilder framework. Then you're going to download HAP 5.0. All right. I can tell you that some students like to use Mac products, and Mac products, Apple products, do not play well in most HVAC applications. If you're going to use a MacBook Pro or some type of Apple product, you're definitely going to want to partition your hard drive and have it boot up as a Windows partition. You can go ahead and try to run it as an application, and I can tell you that if you do that, inevitably you're going to have a problem in this semester in my class and in other classes that I teach. We'll be downloading some other software that just has issues with Apple. So make sure you partition your hard drive. If you have any questions, send me an email on that. And then on the second one here, I have a link that will take you right to Carrier, and you have to download the XBuilder first. XBuilder should be here, so you're going to do a full install of this. Then you're going to do a full install of HAP and use this one. XBuilder does not require at least it didn't in the past require a password, but HAP will. and that was on that other in this area here that I told you there. And there's also assignment number 2, and this one here is actually, it's set up in the form of a quiz. And what I'm asking you to do is to take a quiz and tell me that your HAP software is downloaded. And you'll know if it is. I'm going to fire up HAP real quick here on an icon. And I'm going to cancel out of this. And if it comes up and it shows you this screen here, you have a full running thing of HAP that we could use in the next couple weeks. So again, this is our first module. Now I came to it a different way. If you want to go back and go to the home screen at any time, you can hit Home Dashboard, or you could click the house here. So if I click the house, this is where I first clicked at here. Now, course modules, I'll come up to this computer tasks in just a second. The course modules are laid out. Right now you have weeks 1 and 2 available. I'm going to exit the preview for just a second. And you will see in here that there are all kinds of weekly information that's available. So each week we're going to be doing a different item, and there's different things that are due for each week. So please keep that in mind as we go through. They will automatically pop up. What I'm going to try to do is I try to have 2 of them available for you at any time. So in other words, when we first start the class, here's week 1 and 2. By the time week 1 is done, you should see week 3 pop up. Some guys like to work a little bit ahead. I don't mind doing that a bit. There are some classes in the future that you'll get the entire course dumped on you at one time and you just work through it. In the beginning, I like to kind of keep everybody working together at the same speed to get things done. So course modules, you'll see that are in here, and they're all pretty much laid out. This is this week 2. In week 2, I'm asking you to go ahead. There's a lecture you got to watch. Do an information. Look, this is an information sheet, and here's another quiz and a lab lecture and a lab itself that I want you to do. So that's pretty straightforward there. Course resources. There's quite a bit of information in here. This is using Ferris's electronic databases, the Flight Center again. ASHRAE resources. If I click on ASHRAE resources, I've got handbooks and standards that are in here. Under handbooks, there's different years information that I put in here. For example, if I wanted to look at ASHRAE applications, that's in here. I've got 2011, 7 different chapters that are in here that you'll be using for this class. If we go into the fundamentals book, 2009, you'll see that there are certain chapters that are in here also. So you'll also find in here that there is a ASHRAE Cooling and Heating Manual 1977 and a 1995 manual. I reference, most of the time, I'm referencing the 77 manual, which is similar to the 95 manual. I just wanted to give you both of those to be able to use at your discretion. So when you come into here, this is a document here that has just multiple pages. You can tell I just scanned it. And then I also did a character recognition so you can search it for certain words that you're looking for. All right. So that's some ASHRAE resources there for the handbooks. Then there are standards in here, and the standards are broken down by which standard we're looking for. For example, the 90.1 standard. If I clicked on this, you will see multiple different ones available, 2004 through 2013. And they're all available for you to use. If you were to go into the 2007 one, you can open this up, you can look at it, and you could also save this if you wanted to and keep it for yourself to use while you're a student at Ferris. So I'm going to go back to our home screen and go back under course resources again. And you'll see in here there's some blank lab worksheets that we're going to be working with in the course. If you wanted to practice carrier HAP, I have a college that you can do. It's like a dormitory that you could work on. If you wanted to work with that, just start working on it and send me some information, and I will. It's not required for the class, but it just gives you some more skills on working with HAP. There's a separate folder on building materials and different items with that. You'll see a separate one on lighting, different load calculation manuals, which I just showed you a couple of them there. Medical office building, which we'll be working for many of our labs. We'll be using the information that's in here. So in addition to that, some different occupant information. I also put in your weather data. When we get to the weather part of the class, there's correlation weather data that's available that you'll want to work with. And that's really this tab here. Basic computer task resources. I linked some different files in here. Some of them I recorded lectures. Most of these I just went on the internet and grabbed them. If you're not sure how to do certain things, for example, in Microsoft Word, you want to learn how to insert a PDF file, you can come in here and see that there. A couple ways you can do this also. I didn't tell you about this earlier. You can minimize that. You can maximize it like that. Or you can put it down below if you want to go this route with it. But this would be inserting a PDF file in Word, creating and opening documents, etc. So if you needed some help with that, that's one place for you to find information. So you'll see Excel and Word, and I put in here I believe this has a lecture in here on how to do interpolation. There's an example, a link, and then there's a worksheet, an Excel worksheet that I put in there for you to use if you want to start doing some interpolating. Ferris has a new chat room tool that's out here. The chat room, anytime I say, if I give you an announcement, say we're going to have a chat on a Thursday night, for example, or a Wednesday night, you'd be clicking on this icon. If this is the first time we've used this, if I have any issues with it, you may see me flip this over to a thing called Adobe Connect. Just sit and wait for that. When I go ahead and after we have a chat session, if you cannot make the chat, I will typically record them and place them into this folder here and put a date on them and what we talked about a little bit. So that's one way that you can get some information if you cannot make a chat session. And I did tell you that there's 2 drop boxes for late work. If for some reason you miss an assignment, you can come in here and you have 2 different locations where you can put an assignment in. Okay, on the left side here, this gives us a bunch of different activation keys here. First one, as we come down from the top, there's one called Professor Contact Information. This here, other than I like to walleye fish, you'll get some email information. You'll get my office number, my office address if you need to mail me something. You'll see my office hours, Wednesday 7 a.m. to 7:50 in the morning, and then Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from noon till 12:50. Keep in mind that I teach on campus. I'm not always in my office for my office hours. I try to be there, but I may, if the on-campus student asks me to do something in a lab, I'll go over there and do that also. But you can leave a message for me there. Try to contact me with email first. This is my home phone number again. You can call me 8 to 9:30 Monday and Wednesday evenings. Hopefully not talking about the weather so much, but if we have a question with the class, I'll definitely work with you on it. And it's Eastern Standard Time also. All right, course calendar. I've got this set up, and what you'll see in here, you can see I'm recording this on the 17th. If I go into next month, maybe, you will see in here typically you would see here when a item is due, and it's not showing up here because I do not have the course available for you right now. But if I exited this preview, you would see here when I go back to calendar, you would see due dates for different items that are in here, and they should come up on the calendar. If you have any issues with that, let me know. I'm going to go back into student preview mode. And next one would be grades. As you turn things in, the grades should be available right here. And these are all the different items that are in here, and you can see the upcoming different things that are coming along. And as we go ahead and do this, after you turn something in, you'll be able to click on it and see what your grade is there. The weekly modules, right now there's only 2 of them that are available, but you can either go through here or go off the home page. Again, off the home page, we went to where it says course modules by week. You can get to them over here. Announcements are found here. Announcements for the class. Typically, you'd see something come out right there. And when you signed into FerrisConnect, into Blackboard, they will typically come up for you. I have a thing called a discussion board. Discussion board is used mostly for students to share information amongst each other. Now, one of the things that I put in here, I typically have week 1, week 2, all the way through week 15 topics. And quite often what I recommend that you guys do is break your comments down that you would want to post out something. Like, for example, you're working on something with Carrier App and you find some little trick that you like using and you want to share it with your other classmates. You can list that here on the discussion board. Any app download issues, I'd like you to put those in there. Or this is just real important here. You guys are just getting started right now. Going to Ferris here, you can put your contact information here for students to view. So in other words, if you wanted to go ahead and put down your name, your email address, and a contact phone number for the other students in your class to use, you could put that there, and you could use that to share that information. So using it would be, for example, here, if I went into contact information and I wanted to create a thread here, I could put in here and this is voluntary. You do not need to do this. And you can put in your email, and you can put in your phone, and if you submitted that, you would see now that we would have your information here. So discussion boards are used. I will check them occasionally, but I can tell you if you want a question, if you want something answered, send me an email. The discussion boards, I do not check them all the time. Email is a tool that I like to use. Email, when you see this here, all the student users in here, you can send an email to the entire class at one time. I would recommend you not do that. If you're having any issues with the class or if you have a question, send me a personal email. Just because you're having an issue on something does not mean the rest of the class is. So send me an email if I see something that could have been explained better or that would be helpful for the entire class. I will reply to the entire class to let them know something. So, respect other people's time and just send me the email though. All right. There's the virtual chat room. And this is the first time I'm using this. You would click on this to join the chat room itself. In here, typically I will go ahead and I will start typing things off, but if we're going to start using the Carrier software, which I will have no problem in chat showing you how to do that, quite often I'll switch to audio mode where I will talk, you guys will type questions into me as we're going through that. We'll just kind of play that by ear as we go through. And then I have a web links area here, and in here there's different web links that you go to. This is to the Carrier app software. To download eQuest is here, hands down software for psychometric software, energy codes for the state, cooling and heating degree days from NOAA. So different items in there. And that's pretty much the items that I wanted to go with you in this lecture. There's some other Ferris resources that you can look at that I leave out there for you, but don't get involved with much. A couple other things I'd like to go over with you very briefly is software. Now, when you go and log into FerrisConnect, or excuse me, MyFSU, I said the wrong thing there. Oops. Well, maybe I won't get in. Let's try this again. All right. When you log into MyFSU, you can go right to Blackboard here, which is what takes you to FerrisConnect. There's also a couple other things I'd like to show you. One of them is, I left this open like this on purpose. I'm going to zoom in right now. And if you go down to the bottom here, because you're in the HVAC program, you will see a link to a thing called Cavuto. Now these are all downloads that you can have for free on different programs that are out there. So in here you can find any operating systems, Microsoft Project to use in a different class, Microsoft Visio, which you could use for this class. This software is all available to you at no charge. One thing I do not know yet is if it does bomb out or if it has a time limit on it. I can't answer that honestly. But you can come in here, you can find web developing tools, different operating systems that are out there, different application softwares that are there. So you can, this is just one thing of some software that you might find useful for yourself. Another thing I'd like to talk to you about is as long as you are a student, you can get some software very cheaply or free. So if I go to the home screen here, I think I clicked on the wrong thing there. Let's go to student instead. And if you scroll down, well, they used to have that right here. Be right with you. There used to be a link to a thing called My Tech Support. So let's see if we can type that in on the search area. And under My Tech Support, you could go to this area where it says Academic Support. And when you come into My Tech Support here, if you come to the bottom, there's an area called Free Software. One of the things you can get is Microsoft Office. If I came into My Tech Support, you could go ahead and get the latest Microsoft Office product downloaded for free, the current version that's out there, which is kind of nice. So this is one area where you can get some free software from the university to use while you're a student here. So I think that'll wrap up this first lecture, or the lecture on using the FerrisConnect. If you have any questions, please let me know.